I acquired just shy of 3 lemons the other day from, I believe, Destiny's farm. They were from Destiny. Not sure exactly if they grew on her farm or not. Did not come to me directly from Destiny, like some other fun things like corn on the cob, fresh from her garden, and some status flowers that I'll show you in just a second that came from her driveway. Anyway, the lemons came to me, and I decided to have another go at marmalade and to this time increase the amount of water and sugar, giving it more of the syrupy jelly part of the marmalade instead of it being so fiercely chunky as the last batches had been. And I will say that last batch that's super, super thick is super amazing for cooking with. Like, you don't need as much of it for cooking because it's so intense. We put that on, Maggie put that on some Delica squash. Make it your level of diet with some kind of butter, some kind of sour cream, and lemon marmalade on Delica squash that was cut in half and roasted in the oven. It was absolutely fantastic. It was super fantastic. It was so amazing. Highly recommend it. I'm going to be doing that again. So a great way to use lemon marmalade that is super thick and chunky too, because you don't need as much. Just mix it in with those other things and just spread it on top. It was so good. Gosh. Okay, so anyway, all of these things. Oh, this is from the blistering. It's a cooling thing, so I got it wet, and there's a hair right here. There it is. I got it wet, and it's keeping the blisters cool. So anyway, all of the sourdough and vinegar and making Worcestershire, however you want to say it, sauce from scratch with Maggie in her kitchen was fantastic. And all of those things inspired me to get a little more creative. And then also, in conjunction, Higher Ground Humboldt was using some flavoring syrups that I had not even thought of before, like cardamom, and making the chais an entirely different way, partially because of water and power. Power to heat the hot water, to make the water hot. So they were making them entirely different than I had thought about before, and so I have adapted some of those, which is just fantastic. I am so excited about that. And today I made flavoring syrups, so I'm going to flip the camera around so that I can show you what I'm talking about. So there's my status flowers from Destiny's driveway, and I went to change the water and notice that some of them are throwing roots, so I'm going to see if I can get them to grow. Fantastic. I love it when that happens. This is the lemon marmalade, and as you might be able to tell, it is much clearer than the other batches. So here are the flavoring syrups I did. I used the dried lavender blossoms from a lavender bouquet that Esther had brought back for me from her adventures to a lavender farm last year. And I had dried them and put them away in the dark and forgot about them. So this is the first time not the first time, but the first time I've made a lavender syrup from my own lavender blossoms, so it tastes absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited, and I definitely did more. I did 2 jars of that, 2 bottles, I should say. I made a cardamom syrup, and I probably have it spelled wrong, and I don't care right now, based on the Higher Ground Humboldt suggestion. Thank you, Ashley. And then I decided to go all kinds of crazy and using some cardamom and my other favorite chai spice blend that I use the fresh spices for. I made one with all of those, and this is fantastic. I can add this to any tea or any beverage or anything and have my favorite chai spice blend. Super easy, and it is these are all relatively concentrated too. So even if I were to put 2 teaspoons in an entire mug of tea, that is still, if anybody's counting calories for me, 30 some odd calories if we actually care about calories. I don't. Just saying. I used organic sugar, and almost all of these are from organically grown ingredients when I had them available. So this one, 2 bottles, is super fun, and it is cherry chocolate chai spice syrup blend, and it has this absolutely gorgeous pink color. Is that just not absolutely gorgeous? Okay, and this one is super concentrated. So what I did for this one especially is, or this one, the rest of those I used the fresh, like dried lavender flower, spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and whole spices, and then I hit them with the mortar and pestle to break them up. This one is cardamom pods. So these bottles, this batch is different. This one, I took 3 different flavors of tea, all of which are on their own, but when blended together are pretty good. So I took them out of the tea bags and I used them in a ratio, not 1-to-1. And because they're all tea, and like I said, I took them out of the tea bags and I put them in the simple syrup, in the sugar and water mixture, and I brought it to a boil, turned it off, and let it sit for, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. And tasted it and decided it was absolutely amazing. So I went ahead and I strained off all of the tea, and I'm gonna flip around and show you my full sink over here, which is almost embarrassing, except for I know what all I've been doing, and I still have apples in this sink. Working on it. So this is the strainer I used, and these are indeed the tea spices that are still in this. And I used this in through a funnel, right? Okay, so been feeding my sourdough. I did, like you just saw, 4 different flavors of flavoring syrup plus marmalade. I don't think this is too bad. I'm keeping up on it pretty well. I just need to get hot water and get them moving again. Okay, we come back over here. So I took the spices out of 2 of these, and once they dripped dry, I put the chai spiced spices in here and filled the jar with sugar, organic sugar again. And this one is the tea, and I again filled it with sugar, and I will probably add some more sugar. So this will pull more flavor out of all of these things, because they were absolutely not done yet. So this will pull more flavor out. And then as they dry, which is why I have paper towel on this one, because it's wet and I want it to dry, and I live in California where it's dry, not on the East Coast. This one I'm just not putting on loosely except for when I shake it. So these will have fantastically flavored sugars that I will then run through a sieve. I have a sieve that the sugar will run through and most of the spice won't. So that will be fantastic. Once I have determined they have absorbed enough flavor and all, then I will again run them through a sieve and make sure they are completely dry before I put them away. So I need to keep an eye on them because they have extra moisture and I don't want things to grow in them just flavor growth, nothing else. So that is so far's stuff today. Haven't got back to the apples. I am getting there, and that's the excitement. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen today. Yes, I was messing with my sourdough too, remember that? So it's a great day. I love this stuff. Don't you? What have you been up to? Tell me. Like, comment, share, tell your friends, tell me what you want to see. Tell me if you want me to figure out how to get my camera in more on process. If you want me to talk about process, if you want me to film the process, or if you just want me to say, hey gosh, look what I did. So let me know. Much love, friends. Love you.